everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of GSC's Girl Pod. I'm your host, Candy, and of course, I am joined by the wonderful and dangerous V. How are we doing, V?
I'm fantastic, Candy. I've had a great week at Gamescom, so I'm happy to be back on the pod. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I did not make it all the way to Germany for a con, but I did go to a local-ish con, and we'll talk about some cons and stuff. In this episode, you got to see lots of big games and some indie games. I know Gamescom does a lot of stuff, and we got to see our little corner of the world, New York City, with some indie games. But it was good. But for those of you who are just tuning in, this is Girl Pod. We're going to talk to you about all things gaming from our perspectives. But before we start, if you're not already following the channel or this on your favorite podcast service, please make sure you click that subscribe button. Once you subscribe, you will get to see the weekly news podcast, typically every Thursday, although this week, because of some travel and things for them to come back and recoup, it was a little bit later. And then there's also the party chat, which is every Friday. The news podcast has V with the rest of the UK gang. And then the party chat spans the US and New Zealand with Fraze and Nathan. So
Australia.
worldwide Australia.
Fraser's gonna kick
Australia.
off.
Well, that'll be a test if he's actually listening.
Yeah. That was all a test.
Yeah.
So Fraser, you better be listening to this.
No one alert him. Just let's see what he says. See if he comes in. So it is worldwide, which is also why our site is actually gamersocialclub.ca. That's the site we write for, what brought us all together. You'll be able to find editorials, guides, news, reviews written for gamers, by gamers. And if you listen to the news podcast, you will get to hear Harry tell you the 3 pillars that I don't remember, so I'm not going to go through the 3 pillars.
Only Harry remembers them, and sometimes he's not very good at remembering them either.
He did say when he takes a break, he comes back a little bit rusty, which is fair,
Which is fair.
Totally fair. That's why I'm a little rusty too. That's why I'm getting things wrong, because it's been a little while since we recorded. We still made sure to release once a week, but it's fine. And I'm just getting over being sick. So, the brain's still a little foggy, but we're still here and we're still doing the thing and we are still having our drinks. So what are you drinking today, V?
Today I am drinking a lovely Gavi. So really nice Italian white wine. I got this one from Majestic, which is where I get most of my wine, because you can buy it in cases of 12.
Nice.
Not that I drink cases of 12 wine all the time, but it's good to just have wine here in case someone comes to visit, which they don't. But
yet
it's good to have it here anyway. But
yet they haven't visited yet.
That's true. And when they get here, there will be no wine left. However, that just means we do another trip to Majestic. We buy more wine.
There you go. See?
What are you drinking today?
I am drinking a Doc's raspberry cider. It is a local-ish New York cider. This one is apples and red raspberries, which I don't do lots of fruits or veggies, so I didn't even know there were different types of raspberries, but apparently this is specifically red raspberries. I thought they were all red. So that shows you what I know.
Be fair, I also thought they were all red. Scottish raspberries are red. I didn't realize you could get different colors of raspberry.
See, I'm getting lots of things wrong today. You know what it is? I'm showing my true dumb American today. I'm getting accents wrong. I'm getting raspberries wrong.
To be fair, I think that some of Fraser's family is from New Zealand.
Is that why?
He did. Yeah, and he has mentioned previously that him and his wife were due to move to New Zealand, prior to the pandemic, and then they didn't move over. So maybe you're just you're remembering that because your memory's so good.
I'm just flipping things around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if you know, but we just make things up here and we just say that it's true in America. So
yeah,
I'm just following the lead. That's all.
Yeah. It's not fake news. It's just my opinion, man.
Yeah, absolutely. God, this
Freedom of speech. I get to say what I want, even if it's
even if it's wrong,
factually incorrect, and then you can't stop me.
can't
Like,
stop me. Oh,
yeah.
I
This makes me think of that the Arthur meme, and it's like DW. It's like this thing can't stop me because I can't read. Like,
yep, yep. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, I would. So for a long time, we would like this is an old song. So if you're young listening to this, you probably don't know the song, but um, Puff Daddy, P Diddy, whatever you want to call him. There's a song that he did with Notorious B.I.G. and like there's the line like "Can't stop, won't stop," and like we quote that so much, but then we were like, is it still okay to quote that? Because like he's kind of an awful dude, which I think we all knew he was an awful dude. We just didn't know the extent of
yeah,
how awful he was.
yeah. Always was pretty obvious that he was a bit of a dick,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not fully aware of the fact that he was like a allegedly, because he was cleared of some things, wasn't he? So let's
Mm-hmm.
keep ourselves on the legal straight and narrow from Sean P Diddy Coombs, uh,
Yeah.
allegedly a rapist sex trafficker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if we can still quote that, but I guess uh, I did it this time. Maybe we'll never hear it again on this podcast. But I'm saying a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
feel
things that are
like
going to get this whole podcast canceled in the first 10 minutes.
oh, it's to separate the art from the artist, etc. Like,
No.
there's bits and bobs that are just so ingrained into your brain, it's very difficult to
There
stop saying them. Yeah.
It is. It really is. You know, that's just like that's a quote that just was with me for so long and a joke that we had for so long. And then all this came out and it was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like, do I need to feel dirty every time I say this now?
No, because you've done nothing wrong. It's his fault for being a fucking, and this is not allegedly, this is full blown, just a fucking horrible human being. Like an
Literally.
absolute cunt of a man.
This is true.
like,
This is
yeah,
true.
so you shouldn't feel bad. He should feel bad. He should feel terrible all the time. like,
He should feel awful for making good music but being an awful person and then making us
mm,
question whether or not we can listen to said music.
yeah, just for all the things that he's done, he should feel especially bad for that.
Just add it to the list. Like just keep adding things
yeah,
to the list, you know?
just reprehensible. But also now I feel bad. Like
Yeah.
you
Like
bitch.
oh
like,
god. There's too many of those. I think that's the problem.
oh,
There's too many. Like
yeah,
um I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about Kanye West, right? And it's like, can you listen to Kanye West anymore? And it's like, no. But on retrospect, some of those songs, absolute bangers. But
yeah,
can you listen to
yeah.
them?
I mean, sometimes I still do listen to Kanye West.
I mean, like, listen, if Spotify puts it on, because it has been in my like songs for so long, like, I guess that's on Spotify for still playing it, right? That's not
yeah,
me.
I didn't do it. Spotify did it.
Spotify
But
did it.
also, like his first few albums are absolute bangers. Like, what do you want from me? Like,
Literally. Like, some of those
seminal
albums are
pieces of
so
work.
good.
Like,
Oh, you know what? If you're
famous people, could you just get your shit
gonna,
together so that we don't
literally,
have to go through this? Like,
if you are gonna put out good art, whether it's music or movies or whatever, can you not be a piece of shit? Like,
yeah,
I don't care if you have a bad ego, right? Like, if your ego is like through the roof, but like, could you just not be an awful human being?
yeah. I don't care if you're like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just generally, like maybe you're rude to people in your life. I don't care about that. Like, but could you not be like just a full blown like Nazi? Like, this would be great. Or a rapist, or like anything like that.
Yes.
That would be wonderful.
Like,
Like,
please. I don't
stop.
think that's a lot to ask for.
No, I think that's a really, really low bar. The bar is on the floor. Like,
Right?
could you just step over the bar and just not be genuinely abhorrent? That would be wonderful.
That's
like,
that's that's all we want. That's
mm,
that's all we want. And I'm gonna hope I did not look to see if there's any controversy about this fantasy guest that I'm gonna put out there. I'm
right.
gonna really hope that there's not. because then this
Right.
will age even worse than the first 10 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
But my
Like fantasy guest, please, please.
please, please be a somewhat decent person. My fantasy guest is WWE wrestler Xavier Woods. Also goes
Yeah.
by Austin Creel for
Hmm.
different things that he has done. Um, I have seen him. I have not met him, but I've seen him at different like gaming conventions, which I think is very cool, right? And he had a series. I don't know if he still does it, but he had a series Up, Up, Down, Down, where he would get other WWE wrestlers to play games with him,
Hmm.
right? Which I think is a lot of fun. But I would be really curious, like, to ask, like, as someone who grew up with gaming and did all this, how does it also feel to have this persona and character that you've created then essentially be immortalized in gaming for things that you have, like, done and things that you have achieved? And he's part of or was part of, because I'm not caught up with wrestling, right? So wrestling fans can correct me.
Yeah. Hmm.
um, Part of New Day, which was a trio of wrestlers. It was a tag team, and then one solo wrestler, and they would do lots of fun things, right? But so they then are of course included in lots of the more recent WWE video games, right? Um, and they were just really comedic with a lot of the things that they did. I know what at one point they came out of a cereal box called Bootios. They did cosplay as part of like their entrance, like they cosplayed characters from Dragon Ball. Really cool things. Um, and to be able to do all that in one facet of your professional life, and then have that translated into you being in a video game, but then you also do this series with video games and other people playing with you, and doing all these things, like blending that love of different genres and video games and just different creative outlets. I think that's really cool. And I would love to hear more like how those conversations went, right? Like these other wrestlers that you brought on, like which were gamers, which were not, like which surprised you, like what more would you like to do or see with like video games? I think that would be like a really cool dynamic, and a different thing that we haven't seen with some of the like fantasy guests we've talked about. We've talked about developers, right, who are creating all these characters and putting them in, right? We've talked about voice actors who are taking a already created character and bringing it to life, right, with the voice acting.
Yeah.
But what if it is really truly all you? Like how does that feel different? Like I think that would be
Yeah,
really cool.
that would be that would be super cool. I have looked up online also. There does not seem to be any controversy.
Yes.
Like, in fact, he seems like a absolutely lovely human being who has a master's degree in psychology and worked towards getting his PhD. Just
Mhm.
seems absolutely lovely. So yay, yay,
Yeah.
yay for not being terrible. In fact, yay for being fantastic. We love that. Like everyone, be more like Xavier Woods. Like do it.
Yes. Yes, be more like him. No, I've seen he was at we go to all right, we go to a few of the PAX conventions, including like the unplugged one. Um and he was at one time, and he was just like scooting around. He definitely was like on a break from WWE because he had an injury. But just like watching him scoot around, and we just saw him like scoot by, and we were like, "Holy shit, is that Xavier Woods?" Right? Just as he went by. Um, but from everything that I have heard of people that have had some sort of interaction with him, he has seemed to be lovely, and he loves to talk about video games, and he loves to talk about all the things that he's doing, which is really cool. But again, I just like it must be so surreal to be like, I want to be a wrestler, right? And then you get
Yeah,
to do that thing, and then you get to be immortalized in gaming, right?
yeah.
And when that is something that also is something that you really enjoy, it feels like a nice like full circle of
Oh,
things.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think as well with because I've not watched wrestling in many moons. So I think we both grew up at like the height of
Mm-hmm.
WWE, like when it was called WWF, and then the wildlife
Yes.
charity was like, no, no, you may not. Like, you may not wrestle pandas; it's against the law. Like, they were already struggling enough. But
Facts.
I've not really kept up with wrestling since then. But it always seemed like this sort of sport that was like almost for the nerds. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and you can argue in the comments that because it's fictional and things like that, it's not a sport, but I would like to see what you can do in terms of physical attributes
A
because I
hundred
would
percent.
definitely because it definitely is a sport. It's just more entertainment based than some other sports that are out there. But yeah, it definitely seemed like more for the nerds and the guys who were, and the girls who were all involved in it, like loved video games, loved their anime and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So yeah, I think it must be pretty wild to like go from that to then like because there, as you say, there's so many video games about wrestling and stuff, to then
Yeah.
be like, oh, I love games and I love wrestling, and oh my god, I'm in a game. Like, this is amazing.
Right. And it's not just like, obviously like voice actors being able to do voice acting stuff is amazing, right? And I'm not taking away from that, right? But it has to be just a different feeling to be like,
Yeah,
this is my likeness, right? This is me.
yeah,
This is, and it's not even just that like, oh, it's my likeness in one game or in two games, right? Because obviously I know we talked about Dead Take and there's like actual filmed scenes, right? But again, even with those film scenes, like, you know, Ben Starr is not playing Ben Starr in this, right?
yeah,
He's playing Vinnie Monroe, right? So it's different. Whereas like, yes, in wrestling, Xavier Woods is playing Xavier Woods, because I know that's also not his real name, but that's the persona and everything that you created. Like,
yeah,
you put this together, you have like made yourself into this thing and worked for a long time to make yourself into this specific character, right?
yeah,
It's not a role that was given to you in the same way. Now, obviously, with wrestling, there are things that are handed to them, like whether or not they're going to have a heel turn or whether they're going to be the good guys and, things like that. But there is there is some creativity that comes from the wrestler themselves.
yeah. They create that character. The
Right.
storylines that they have might be written by other people at some point, but
Mm-hmm.
that must be a big part of yourself creating that character.
Right.
Yeah,
And then to be like, oh, there's at least 5 games that I'm a part of because they put out like
yeah,
a wrestling game almost every year, right? And then to also do that with your pals, with your buddies, right? Like, it seems like the three of them, from New Day, seems like they all got along like super well and had very similar interests, right? And I would love to be like, okay, so like, were there video game characters that you wanted to come out as like during wrestling, and what was navigating that like? Did you do it? Like, were there ones you wanted to and they said absolutely not, right? We can't get the rights, or we can't do this, or like whatever that is. Just a different blending of video games with a with like a media entertainment that I think normally the direction is the wrestling is made into a video game and not the
yeah,
video game goes into the wrestling world.
yeah. No, absolutely. No, that would be a very cool guest. What are we bribing him with? Uh, I see online that he has a Legend of Zelda tattoo. So we do a Zelda episode, or do we go to a gym somewhere and we get him to teach us wrestling moves? It's like, please teach us wrestling moves. Like,
Oh my god. I mean, you know what? For Xavier Woods, I will do a Zelda episode. I do not love the Zelda games, but for Xavier Woods, I would do it. I've only finished the chibi remake of Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening, a
Yeah,
great game.
that's the only
Yeah,
one I've ever finished. Um,
that's fair.
I
I think Zelda's one of those ones you either get into it when you're quite
yeah.
young or you just don't. Like, so I've played a few of them, but I'm certainly not. I wouldn't, and I enjoyed them, but I wouldn't consider myself to be like massively into Zelda. Like,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's one of those. I think it's just one of those franchises. It's a little bit like Final Fantasy. It's like if you didn't play it at certain intervals and like at a very specific time of your life, you're just like, that seems fun. I'm going to do something else. Like,
Yeah.
you know, is I've only ever played Final Fantasy X. Although I've played the first one, the Pixel remaster now. Um, but yeah, like people talk about like Final Fantasy games and they're so like they love them, and I'm like, I love that for you, but also this seems so entrenched into your psyche. And I feel like as a 34-year-old woman, like I can't do that now. Like I've got my other shit that I have to think about. Like it's like burnt into the back of my brain. Like
It's okay.
yeah,
We can apologize to Harry and his love of Final Fantasy later.
that's
Every
that's fine.
Final Fantasy article that is like on the
No, but
site
it's
has been Harry.
yeah, but specifically Final Fantasy 9. Like he
Specifically
doesn't care
9.
about any other Final Fantasy. He's just like Final Fantasy 9 only. Like
I mean,
yeah,
you know what though? I do really enjoy Final Fantasy 9, right? But I think it's like you said, I have been playing Final Fantasy games for a very long time. So, like the first one that I played was Final Fantasy 7, which for a lot of people was their first one, right?
yeah,
Um and that is one that like really stuck with me, and then I continued to play the Final Fantasy games as they came out. um and I think Final Fantasy 9 is great. It's no 7, right? And I'm very biased and partial, and not just because it
you're
was
the
the
person
first
that's
one.
going to have to apologize to Harry.
I
Like
know.
I've said nothing.
I
Like
know. I think Harry knows this. That's fine. I think I've mentioned that 7 is my favorite. And again, it's like it's the first one that I played. It's the first one that like really like it's the first one that I finished, and it was long because it was, it was back in the day when you got multiple disc. Um to play all the games, and God forbid you scratch one of those discs, cuz then you ain't never going back. Um but it was for me too with Final Fantasy 7. At the time when I played it, it was the first time that I was like, oh, there are some strong but yet still feminine characters that felt
yeah,
like good role models, right?
uh-huh.
Um, and my favorite is Tifa Lockhart, and she will forever be my favorite female in a Final Fantasy game. Uh, you know, just it was to the point where, I had a poster of Tifa on my wall, right?
Yeah.
I
I
was
love
like
her. Like
I was like, this is the girl. Like, she
yeah.
is that bitch, right? Like, she will kick your ass, but then if you are like her boo, she will like be there for you. Like like, and I feel like for a long time in gaming it was like the damsel in distress, or they're super rough around the edges and that's why they can kick ass. I feel like that was the first
Yeah,
time. And again, there may have been other games that came out that had something similar, but that was the first one I saw it in.
yeah,
So to have the both qualities and be like, oh, you can be cute and fierce, and you can be, kick ass. And it was, there also wasn't like, oh, she has this crazy magic weapon that's really like helping her out. No, she's coming and she's punching and kicking you. Like there is
yeah.
like she's just doing it, right?
We
Like,
do love a woman that can beat us up. I do.
yes.
Like
Right? And she's gonna
like
look good doing it.
yeah, punch me right in the face. I'm okay with it. Like
Right? And she'll do it and she'll look good, and then afterwards when y'all are coming down, she'll make you a drink at Seventh Heaven Bar, right? Like, come on.
to be fair, that does sound like my dream woman. Like beat me up and then pour me a drink. Yes, please. Like do it.
Right? Right? The reconciliation is like her pouring you a drink and sitting at the bar with you. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. So, you know, I just I love those games, but those were the games that I gravitated to, so I never did like the whole Zelda games. But I have friends who love them, and that's fine. And if
Yeah.
Xavier Woods is like, I will only go on the podcast if you play one of the games, I will happily play one of the games to get Xavier Woods here. That's fine.
Yeah.
And if I need to
Yeah.
apologize to Harry to get him to be a guest, I will apologize profusely again so that he can be on a guest episode.
I'm sure you would come on a guest episode anyway. if only to let us know why we must play Final Fantasy. I did promise him I would play it. I'm pretty sure it was on sale on Steam and I bought it. So I have promised him I will play it. But then I look at my Steam library and I'm like, fucking when though? When will I find the time? Like,
You can,
but yeah,
well, you can play it now that all these other games have delayed because of Silksong.
not all of them. Not all of them. They're
Silksong
still
was
so
like,
ready.
hey, guess what? This
Yeah,
day. And it's like, thanks.
yeah. We did see Silk Song at Gamescom. I did not queue up to play it. You could book in appointments and stuff like that, and I was like, "There's a lot here. It
Mm-hmm.
comes out in a week. I don't need to queue up to play Silk Song, which will be releasing in like 7 days. Like this
Yeah.
seems pointless to me." But I did see
No.
busy at both of the booths that it was at. So
And it
for
was
anyone
real.
who has been, it was real. We saw it. I saw people play it. It does exist. We got a photograph on front of the Silk Song booth. Um, if you tune into the on the YouTube for the Gamescom episode that we did for the weekly news podcast, I has photoshopped Hornet's head over my head, and the photograph we took over at the Silk Song booth because I I love heads being photoshopped onto other things. I just love that. I don't know why.
I mean,
I
fair.
think just for me that is peak comedy. Like just like photoshopping someone's head onto something that's not their head. I'm like, damn, like why is that so funny? Like
Listen, so valid. So valid. No,
Mm.
it was the queue and the signups for Silksong at Gamescom. Was that well managed? Because I'm hearing that at PAX West, it is not well managed at all.
Oh, okay. Well, for the Xbox booth for it, they had lots. The Xbox booth was massive, and they had lots of different queues for different things. And I think once the queue was over like an hour long for amount of people in it, they just closed the queue, and you couldn't join until like it had cleared a little bit. Nintendo had a QR code system, so you had to scan the QR code and then find a slot and then book in. So there was no queue there. You scanned the QR code, you booked in your slot, and then you went over and showed them the time of your slot when you had it. So yeah, Gamescom, it was very well managed. I don't want to. I don't want to go full into like stereotypes, but I've never met a disorganized German. Like a German woman used to live in my house. They are the most still the most organized people that I've ever met in my life. So it was incredibly well managed at Gamescom.
That's fair.
Like,
My mother-in-law is German. Checks out.
yeah, yeah. You could just tell. Like, and I don't think being super organized is a negative stereotype at all.
No.
Like,
No.
but I don't think my friend Yana will be listening to the podcast, but if she is, I hope she knows that she's still the most organized person that I have ever met. And yes, my flat is still a mess, and I'm sorry. And after the podcast, I will go and empty the dishwasher. I apologize. Like,
No, that's fair. Yeah, we are not at PAX West. I don't think we actually have like a West Coast contingent for GSC. Um, but we do, you know, Sean and I really do keep on like looking at the subreddits, and it seems like they may not have been fully prepared or staffed for what is happening for Silk Song.
oh,
Um,
wow, how would you not know? Like,
I mean, I don't like I don't know if maybe they just did they not know that Silk Song was going to be the thing that was on display? Like, I don't, and because I'm not there, I don't know like is it an Xbox booth that happens to have Silk Song? Is it, like I don't know what they have. Um but looking through the subreddit, people are like there's like no line, there's no waiting for it, so you just have to try to jump in when someone leaves to play it. And I'm like, that sounds like a really bad way of doing this, right? Like,
oh,
who set this up? Like,
maybe they were supposed to have the system that Nintendo had, where it's like a QR code and you book it. But there was no
maybe.
one there to like, because we when we took a photo of the booth and also to look at the booth to be like, no, it does exist. I can see people playing it. It absolutely exists. Um, there was like a woman just sort of standing in front of the 5 or so switches that they had set up, and people were walking up to try and just see if they could go in, and she was like, absolutely not. Where's your code? Show me your booking appointment. You can't fucking come in here. Like, this is booked only. And they were like, oh god, right, okay, like, run away. Oh, there's a Elden Ring Tarnished edition on the Switch. We'll try that out before we can see. And it's just like, don't go there. That looks trash. Like, not the game, just like, I don't know if you heard, but the Switch edition of it apparently
Not great.
plays like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2 is a significant upgrade over the Nintendo Switch 1. But I have played the Dark Souls remastered version on the Switch, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what they were expecting from the Elden Ring Tarnished edition, to be honest. Like, yeah, your Pokemon will run at 60 FPS, 4K, but like that's there's no graphics in Pokemon. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Oh
but
my
yeah,
God.
hopefully we can optimize that before everything fully comes out. Like,
See. I mean, I just feel like if you're gonna play Elden Ring, maybe not on a Switch console.
yeah, I think the thing is now though, like a lot of people Switch is like their primary console, and that's something that doesn't really register in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as someone who plays so many video games, like that a lot of people only have like a Switch.
Yeah.
Because I never dock my Switch with the TV. Like my Switch 2, the dock's still in the box. Like it's not even connected to my television. I only ever play it in handheld mode. Um, and it just doesn't register to me as like a main console. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
side guy. But I suppose with the Switch 2, it costs the same as like an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Yeah,
Like
about. Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
They're very like significantly more expensive than the Switch 1. So you would kind of expect that you would be able to get like that full like console experience on it. But I've just never it's never registered to me because it goes into the like a little handheld mode that it would
Mm-hmm.
replace someone's primary gaming mode. So like, but yeah, some people only have a Switch, and that's kind of wild to me.
Yeah, no, I agree because I think about my Switch, right? I don't have a Switch 2, I just have the original Switch. Actually I just realized mine
your
isn't even on the dock right now.
Yeah, your
Um
parents are saving up those tickets for Dave and Buster's though.
they
They're
have
they're
enough. There just hasn't been a Switch 2 there yet. So, you know, they're saving. Um but I do keep my Switch on the dock a lot, not to play it necessarily docked for like as my primary console, but more so like if I'm sitting at my computer or if I'm going to stream something like using the capture card, it has to be on the dock, right? But like I also don't think of it as the primary console. I think of it as in some ways like my primary like visual novel console, right? And those sorts
yeah,
of games, right? But very specifically, though, like that and maybe like more tactics based games, so like your Fire Emblems and things like that, right? I think of those on the Switch. Those games also though are not graphics intensive, so they
yeah.
run fine, right? I can't imagine like well, all right, not that I'm ever really gonna play Elden Ring, but um I can't
Well, we're gonna
imagine.
play Dark Souls too. You know,
Mhm.
like
Only if a video gets 50 likes. It's got to get 50
you
likes
know what to
first.
do. You know what to do.
But like I just can't imagine like that like handheld on a on a Switch, on an OLED, on a Switch 2. Like I can't imagine that being the thing. So I could also see it being based on what games are you playing, right? If you're playing every cozy farming sim under the sun, you can play those farming sims on a Switch. And I know you're laughing about the Instagram video that you sent me earlier, which I still haven't shown yet, but um like
What you need to
that's
know, listeners at home or people that's watching on the YouTube, that I spend at least an hour every Saturday prior to Girl Pod just rotting on my couch, looking at Instagram reels, and then every single one that's got anything to do with cozy games, especially when they're derogatory, I'm just like, Candy will love this. Like,
and I
just like
do.
I'm never sending any like reels or memes to like my partner or anything like that, even though I'm like, oh, I think they'll like this. I'm like, no, no, it's fine. But then I see something, I'm like, oh my god, Candy's gonna fucking love this.
And I
Candy's
do
the person I
every time.
send my reels to. Like,
Literally
like,
every time. Love it. Absolutely. No, it was so spot on. It was so spot on.
yeah, but that's why they all play on the Switch, surely. It's like, I'm going to recommend you the most dog shit 15 FPS.
I mean, and again, if that's what you want, cool beans. Enjoy
Yeah.
it. Have fun. Right? Like I did a preview for a cozy game, which is like so not in my like element, but you know, I did it. Um and I'm like, I understand why some people enjoy cozy games. I do. I'm going to continue to hate on them, but I understand why some people enjoy them, right? Um and I know that some of it has to do with like the feelings of anxiety and all that stuff, right? And we talked about it on one of the previous episodes, right? But gamers, get yourself like a better gaming console and then get like better games for it. Like
Yeah.
you can
To be
have
fair,
games.
that reel was specifically about very, very particular types of cozy influencers. So this
Mm-hmm.
is not, we know that we don't like cozy games, but there is a big problem, I think, with specific types of cozy influencers. Obviously, not all of them. We have someone that works for the site called Bright, and she prefers cozy games and she streams. I don't think she would consider herself to be an influencer, actually, but she does stream. But she's very open with all of her reviews. If something is bad, it is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a specific type of, and I suppose it can be referred to as like all influencers. It's like if you're getting paid, it's a bit different. But
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot with cozy influencers, and it's just like, oh, this is sponsored by this game, and you're like, this looks like AI slop version Stardew Valley. What is this? And it's like, no, but it's great. It's the best cozy game I've ever played in my entire life. Like,
And it's like,
no,
no,
yeah,
no, it's
no,
not.
this is barely a game. It barely runs. What do you mean? Like,
Yes. And look, I stream. I've definitely done some of those like here's this sponsorship and here's this thing, right? Like and yes, they tell you not to say anything like negative about it, right? Obviously they want you to pitch their game, they want you to do the whole thing. Right? I get it.
yeah.
Cool. Fine. But you know what? That sponsored stream is only that stream. Talk your shit right after. Okay? Like be real or right and I've seen much bigger influencers that say things like this, right? You can say things that sound positive, but your community and the people you are selling this game to know the difference, right?
Yeah,
So you can contractually fulfill the obligations while being like, yeah, this game looks pretty, right? It's not hard to make a
yeah.
pretty game in 2025 anymore, right?
No.
The game the game it looks really pretty. Yeah, like, you know, that character, she's really pretty. That's a you know, if you really like pretty characters in your games, you know, this could be for you if you like pretty, right? Like you have said nothing negative about the game in those statements, but you haven't really said anything good.
Yeah.
Right? There's a
Get your bag.
way. Well,
Get paid from these companies that are presumably like pushing slop. Like
times are
obviously,
hard, I get it.
yeah. Obviously, there's some games they'll give out sponsorships and stuff like that, and they're obviously not a slop. I
Mm-hmm.
assume that they have less strict guidelines for what you can and can't say because they're pretty confident in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But get your bag. Times are tough.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, immediately in the next stream, just be like, that was trash, by the way. It was so bad. As soon as that money hits your account, just be like, don't
Bam.
buy this. Like, disclaimer, that was bad. I was just getting paid. Like, like,
Literally. I mean, or you know the thing that I mean, I haven't played this game in a while, mostly because there was like a whole lot of voice acting things and blah 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 blah. The I think the one that I've done the most of like sponsorships with was Honkai Star Rail, right?
Mhm.
But I was playing that game regardless. right? So when
Yeah.
I was talking about the good things about the game, I was like, these are legitimately good things, and these are the reasons that I enjoy them, right? Because that's the other, you can sort of sit there and wait for like a game that you really want. So you don't have to be the cozy ooh woo streamer who's sitting there with like, look at my cute things behind me, and oh my god, like this game is so much fun, and like thanks so much to Nintendo for sponsoring this stream and giving us the chance to play this farming sim, and you can check out my link here and in the chat so that you can pick up your copy of this generic farming sim. Enjoy, gamers! Like,
Oh, that's dreadful. Please never do that again.
that's how they sound to me, though. That's
And
like,
the that it's so funny. It's like
like
I was gonna start with it, and then it was like full blown.
because that's how they sound to me, and I'm just like, ugh.
It's like nobody talks like that. I'm sorry you don't. Like, and if you say you do, you're a liar.
Literally. Like, it's
Ooh,
just, yeah, some of those I can't. I'm just like, no. Just no. And again, you can enjoy those games. That's fine. But like, some of them are trash. And it's
mm,
okay if they're trash. Right?
yeah,
Like, and if you want to get your money, get your money. I get it. Times are hard. Inflation is real. Jobs are hard to come by. Blah, 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 blah. But my gosh, please don't put on the whole persona for it. Please don't be the
yeah.
me from 3 minutes ago for an entire stream.
No, please don't do that. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, but your audience deserves your audience deserves better than that. Get your money. They want you to get your money, but don't like you don't have to do that. Like,
No. There's too many games out there for y'all to be worried about like this crap.
yeah, just pick up a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship that everyone knows is bad, and just they know it's for the money, and just be like, oh yeah, we've got our own clan. Like they've got stuff. There's new person that you can get. I don't know, like done. Like
I haven't seen as many of those ads recently, right? But it's funny because now that I haven't seen as many of those ads, I'm like, is that game really that bad? Like what is it? Like, and how did they have this money to sponsor so many people?
yeah.
Like,
Well, the new one is what's the new one that I see all the time? War Thunder.
I don't
Like
know that one.
oh, so it's like a military vehicle sim
Hmm.
game. I've never played Raid Shadow Legends
Me.
or War Thunder. They could be bangers, like I don't know. But I'm going to assume that they are not. Like because if your game was a banger and you have I feel like by word of mouth by this point, just loads of people would be talking about it. But I
Mm-hmm.
only ever see it being sponsored by people. And again, I'm never going to say don't get sponsorships. Apart from what is the one that when I see it, I'm like, you have to stop. This is ridiculous. You must see you look ridiculous. The air up thing. It's just like make your water smell different as you drink it, and then it will make it taste good.
Oh, I have heard about this one. I don't think I've seen
And I'm like,
anybody with that sponsorship, but I have heard about it.
this must be just like our different YouTube algorithms.
Yeah.
But I've not seen much of them anymore. But for a little while, I saw quite a few people sponsoring, like being sponsored by it, and I was like, "You're not. No, stop it. Like, put a scent capsule in your plastic water bottle, and it'll trick your brain into making you think that your water tastes of like sweet cherries." It was
No.
just like, yeah, I know there's a correlation between taste and smell, but it's still just fucking water. What is wrong with you? Like,
Well, V, it's because we don't all have that Scottish water.
oh, well, yeah, that is very true. That
We
is
have to
true.
try anything.
Just put by flavored water. Like,
We don't have the best water in the world.
that is very true.
And
That
then
is
we
very
pay
true.
for this water that is not the best water in the world.
But then you don't have to pay extra to smell a weird chemical
We're
scented
desperate,
capsule.
V. We're desperate.
Do you guys not have what is it? Why do I want to say it's called like Crystal Light or something like that? Do you
Yeah,
guys not have like
there's a few different brands
sachets?
like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I get it. And you can't possibly have the worst water in the world because that's like London, like because that's trash. It looks like oil is settling on top of it. My mum makes me a cup. My mum lives in London. She'll make me a cup of coffee. She used to have a Brita filter. She stopped using it because she hates me, presumably. I don't know. Like, but she will make a cup of coffee and there's like a scum on the top of the cup. Like you can see it. It's like looking at oil in a like a puddle,
Oh,
like underneath someone's car. And she's like, "This is completely fine." And I'm like, "This is poison. You've handed me poison. I am your child. How dare you? Like, have you no like consideration for my health, women? Like,
oh
this is so rude
no.
of you. Like, just get me a beer. I'll drink a beer in the shower. Like, for fuck's sake."
The alcohol will kill anything that would mess it up.
Yeah.
Oh my
But yeah,
god.
that was the one that I saw that like I was just like, no, this can't be. You can't be telling me that that actually tastes of anything. That's scented air, and you're just drinking water out of a bottle. Like,
You know, there are crazier things, I guess. I don't I don't know. I,
mm,
I like I do remember those, but yeah, it's been a while since I've seen those. But I do
mm,
remember I like a handful of people, not anybody that I know personally, because I've seen quite a few people that I know personally who have done different like sponsorships and stuff. Um, but I remember seeing those on like the YouTube and being like, this is I remember being like, this is insane. And then I remember, oh wait, the one time that I went to Denver because it's so like the altitude is so high, I literally was also buying like canned air just to be able to breathe. So I guess sometimes there is like a necessity. Yeah. So if you ever go to Denver, Colorado, I know it sounds crazy. It sounds
okay,
crazy.
okay, uh-huh.
So uh sorry, not Denver. We went to Breckenridge and that's where we had to get it. So so Denver, Colorado is like a mile high, like elevated or whatever. Um but then as you go up to Breckenridge, Colorado, it is even higher in altitude. So the thing is the higher the altitude, especially if you are
The
not
thinner.
accustomed to it, the
Yeah.
air is thinner, it's harder for you to breathe, right? And some people get very sick because of it.
Okay.
So they have oxygen bars that you literally go and you sit and you like put tubes in your nose as if you're in a hospital and you're breathing pure oxygen to try to deal with like the sickness, right? Because some people will get some people. Thankfully, we did not get this sick, but some people will literally have like flu-like symptoms just because they cannot breathe in that high of an altitude.
But you need to pay for that?
Yes.
Okay.
So the other thing that they will do is they will can some of this like I don't think it's pure oxygen because I think that might be too much for like the body to intake, but they will
Yeah, that
can
would definitely kill
oxygen.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you like put it on your face like a face hugger and you like press it and inhale like this oxygen to try to deal with the impact to offset the impact of the thinner air that your body is not accustomed to. And I just remember being like, oh, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Right. And we walked around for a little bit and I was like, I can barely breathe. And we did have the canned oxygen to help us get through the weekend because I was like, oh, this is crazy. And I remember like having my like Fitbit and stuff that was recording, you know, your heart rate and things like that. And like every night, heart rate would be like 130 beats per minute. I'm like, that is not healthy. But that is also because my
No.
body is fighting to get oxygen throughout all the areas of my body.
That
So
sounds dreadful.
it
Like,
so stressful. We were there for a weekend for a wedding and then have not been back. But yeah. So, you know, air that smells nice to make you want to drink and air that keeps you alive. I feel like one of those is way more important than the other.
yeah, yeah, I think, keeping yourself alive.
Yeah.
And I will say there are different water products that you guys have in America that confuse me. Um, but also I did watch. I'm sure I watched a very fun YouTube video about the what is it, Liquid Death,
Oh
like the
yeah, where it's
canned
just
water.
water. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, it's like marketed like a monster, like a beer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they tried to like expand out of the US into the UK, not just Scotland, like into the UK in general. And everyone was just like,
No.
"What do you mean? Like, what, I'm spending £5 on a can of water. Like, what is this?" Like,
Yep.
like, but yeah, there's obviously different markets for different people. So yeah, maybe the Air Up is actually good. I'm not gonna buy it.
I'm not gonna buy
I
it.
drink I drink my water out tap. It's great.
I'm not gonna buy it. But hey, if you're gaming and you have like hydrate redeems on your stream and you want to get sponsored by Air Up, I guess enjoy. Have fun. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do
go
it.
smell that water before you drink it. Yeah, seems legit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it, but get your bag. Enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you get sponsored by them, then we can Air Up. Do you want to sponsor the podcast?
Do you want to sponsor the podcast so that we can prove our past selves wrong?
Yeah, you could sponsor the podcast, so that you can prove that it's not a scam. Like, what better endorsement of your water product than a Scottish person who is so fiercely weird about water? Like, you're never going to find anyone weirder apart from maybe the Finns. Like, like, and they've
See,
got
now
great
we're onto
water.
something.
Like, yeah, come on,
Now we're boiling.
companies that sponsor things sponsor us so we can tell you whether or not it's a scam or not. If you're confident in your product, we won't say it's a scam. Like,
This is true. This is
yeah.
true. There is nothing more honest than a New Yorker and a Scottish person, especially after a few drinks.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So if we say it's good, it's good. Like,
Big
anyway.
facts. Big facts. So we're open. Hit us up.
Yeah. And if we think it's bad, we will also say it's bad, just so you know. Like,
I will say it is bad. 100%.
yeah.
If it is bad, I
So
will
you
tell
need
you it's bad.
you need to be really confident in your product here. This is like Dragon's Den, or what do you guys call it? Shark Tank.
Shark
Like,
let us know, but we're open. We're here. We're not going
we would
anywhere.
also like to get that bag, please. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, please. We need that bag so I can join them at Gamescom next year.
Yeah, we've got a full year to get that bag, but you do have to come and join us at Gamescom because it was so good and you would have had such a good time. Like,
Dude, I would love to go. I mean, we went to a small, well, I say smaller convention here, for press coverage. We were at Play.NYC. Really, and I say we, really Sean was there for Play.NYC. I was also there, but I was just in attendance. I was not like doing press stuff for the site, so I just got to enjoy my time. But Play.NYC was in conjunction with Anime NYC.
yeah.
So there was lots of anime stuff, which was great. And I was really glad to see a lot of the stuff. And I did write some stuff that came out of Anime NYC for the site. So like I got to see the trailer or the teaser trailer for the Splinter Cell anime that's coming out.
Oh, I did not know that was coming out. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
So that's coming out. And if you are like me and you enjoyed the John Wick movies, the one who is writing and running the show is the one who created the John Wick franchise,
Oh,
Derek
wait, that's
Kolstad. I think this is
that's super exciting.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, all right. Anybody who's listening to this is not going to be able to see this. Sadly, sorry. But we went to the Netflix panel, which is where the
yeah.
anime will be playing. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I mean, we could do a giveaway, I guess. But so they gave out these posters for the anime.
That is super cool. I love that. Yeah.
So I have this. So from the creator of the John Wick franchise, the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell Deathwatch, and the voice of Sam Fisher is Liev Schreiber. I was like, ooh.
We love Liev Schreiber. I do. Like,
yeah, I was like, ooh, I like that. I enjoy that casting. Absolutely. Let me put this back in.
I am here for them making amazing anime of video game. As
Yes.
someone who's not a big like TV show video game guy or movie video game guy, so many of the animated video game adaptations they've done recently are super cool. So I'm just do more of that. I I will watch the new Mortal Kombat movie and I will love it, but I will know that it's objectively trash.
Yes.
But make an animated Mortal Kombat series so that you can go as weird as you need to be. Like,
I think that's
just do
why
that.
animation is the perfect genre for it.
Yeah,
You're not limited
absolutely.
by humans and human bodies, right?
Yeah.
Like, go nuts.
And I think there's also like a different level of like suspension of disbelief when you're watching real people do things. It's like sometimes plot points in video games are pretty contrived. Like, it's not to say there's not amazing storytelling happening
Mhm.
in video games. It has been happening in video games for the past 25 years. Like, but sometimes just due to the medium and the fact that you need to stay invested in the game, there's some
Yeah.
things that can just be a bit like, oh, if I read this in a book or I saw it in a movie, I might be a bit like, that's a bit weird.
Right.
but but if I saw it in an anime, I'd be like, absolutely, that's fine. Like, because anime is like completely different. I'm like, oh wait, we just need to power up because something bad has happened. We need to just go to the next power level. I'm here for it. Like, just go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm buying this. Like, this is an ability that you've never shown, but apparently have had the full time. Like,
Yeah.
if that's in a film, I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? If this is in an anime, I'm like, yes, put the music on, hype. It's like,
100%.
like,
100%. No, and I mean, and Netflix has like really been, I feel like they are really going heavy into the like video game anime like crossover. Um which like they so the panel that we went to that we actually got that poster and saw that was the like Netflix panel. And then they also had these, I mean, they had a lot of really cool giveaways for things that are not gaming related. Um, but they also gave away this, actual like physical media thing. Which like,
That's
wow.
Sakamoto Days. Is that
It is
Sakamoto
that is
Days I just
Sakamoto
saw there?
Days,
Yeah,
yeah. Because they
yeah,
talked about Sakamoto Days a lot, and of course there's Matt Mercer voicing
yeah.
Sakamoto Days. But they did a lot of work, but they had a whole piece on Splinter Cell in here,
Oh,
which was cool to like read about. Um, and building the world and like why they're building the world and the way they're doing it and why it's like so much later, which is cool. And then of course, they have, I think the one that's been like the biggest one for them, their League of Legends,
yeah.
right? That
To
one's
be fair,
been
the artwork in that is phenomenal. Like, I've
amazing.
never played League of Legends in my life, but
Don't
like,
don't. It's toxic. I've tried it once or twice. It's toxic. Um, but no, I mean, like, they have really been killing it. We know they have the Assassin's Creed one that they're now working on, right? So that's something that will be like coming. Netflix has really stepped up the anime game, and I think with them taking pretty popular properties that are games and making them anime-fied, right? You are
yeah,
bringing in other audiences that maybe would not have touched anime before.
yeah, because it's less, especially like even stuff like Sakamoto Days and stuff. I know is obviously not based on a game, but having those like very high profile voice actors and stuff like that involved in it, it's like you're going to attract people who've never picked up like a manga before.
Mm-hmm.
They're not watching Sakamoto Days because they are familiar with the manga and they think it's super cool. They're watching it because their favorite voice actors from video games and stuff like that are in it, or because they've watched like the Castlevania anime and they're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like we're sort of trusting Netflix with a lot of these animated properties.
Right? Devil May
Um,
Cry is another one.
yeah, oh absolutely. Like I watch a lot of anime. And we did go to the merch bit of Gamescom. Um, I unfortunately could not. They had a Gintoki statue from Gintama. I don't know if anyone who's listening who's like proper into Gintama, but I love Gintama. But it was non-boxed, so I couldn't buy it because I knew it would I would not keep in my case, and I was so upset.
Oh,
um, but yeah, the crossover between people who love games, people who love anime is obviously already massive.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, there is like that different sphere of gamer that's never really been into anime or anything like that, or they might have watched like Dragon Ball when they were growing up
Right.
and then just never watched it, never watched anime again. But you're right, Netflix completely pushing that forward, being like, yeah, but what about your favorite games, but
Mm-hmm.
a fun series, not a 1.5 hour trash movie?
Right.
Assassin's Creed, I'm looking at you. Like that movie was bad. Like,
Right.
why
You're
not make
pulling
a
in.
fantastic like TV show? Like,
Right.
mm,
Some things are better told like with longer form, right? And if you're doing animated, you're not bound by human restrictions and things like that, right? But it makes sense that you can then pull people that never moved past like the mainstays of anime, right? So like your Dragon Ball, your Sailor Moon or whatever, right? You are now bringing in people that like I know what anime is, but some of it's like way too weird for me to like explore.
yeah,
Oh, but you're doing something, cyberpunk edge runners. Okay, like I played a cyberpunk game, let me give this a shot. And then that opens up the door, for people to be like, "Oh, this studio did edge runners and it's really cool. Like what else have they done that maybe I would enjoy?" Right? Or what else is coming out that I would enjoy that's kind of similar, right? So you continue to build that bridge for people, right? But the other series that was talked about that will not be on Netflix is the
oh.
Sekiro one.
Oh yeah. So I thought that the trailer for that opening night live looked pretty dope, but I know there's been a bit of like controversy around it with
Mm-hmm.
people saying it was like AI. We did an article because it was confirmed that it's not.
Yes.
Um, but I've not really looked into it enough to understand from. Yeah, there were some really dodgy smear frames in like the trailer if you go right into it. But there's a little bit of me that's like, I hate AI art. Like, please do not mistake any of my skepticism here for being pro AI. Like, I am not. But have you seen some of the animation and like some of the pain arc in Naruto? Like sometimes you just get a really fucking horrible smear frame. like, like
That's exactly it. I mean, I think so part of the concern was that the studio that is working on Sekiro has used a lot of AI previously.
see, I was not aware of this. So,
Yeah. So that was some of the concern. Um, and at the Crunchyroll panel,
mm-hmm.
they then confirmed that it's all hand drawn, right? 2D animated, right? And some people are like, well, it looks like trash, right? And I'm like, what it looks like is older anime. That's what it looks like to me, right?
Yeah,
It gives me that gritty, dark 90s anime feel that was not meant to be a mainstream anime, right?
yeah,
It was meant to be more rough around the edges because it's potentially going to be a little more gory and it's going to be a little more like it's not meant to be pretty, right? It looks good for a very different aesthetic.
yeah. There's a lot of differences in like sort of line weight for a lot of the characters and stuff. I'm just looking at some screenshots and stuff like that of it, and it's obviously the I don't think the artwork is as good, but that like very heavy lines some places, but lots of detail and things like that. It makes me think of like Fist of the North Star,
Mm-hmm.
like it makes me think of like Vampire Hunter D,
Right.
like these much more adult. If you're a child, please do not go and look up Fist of the North Star. Don't do it. Like, but like those sorts of much more. We're doing gritty. Everyone's a bit grubby,
Mm-hmm.
like it's not Fist of the North Star, the one that I'm thinking of, but I did have an anime DVD when I was growing up, and at one point, just like a snake just comes out of a woman's vagina. What was that? But those sorts of aesthetics to it,
Mm-hmm.
that are very much like, yeah, as you say, more adult, more gritty. This is not a like Shonen Jump.
Right.
This isn't all clean lines and fun things are happening. This is like
Yes.
we're into the uh Shannon. That's the right. Uh, the more
Uh,
adult sort
I
of.
think it's like slightly, yeah, I think that's slightly more adult.
Hmm.
I sometimes get confused on the terms myself, but like, yeah, it's much more like Ninja Scroll and less Dragon Ball Z, right?
Ninja Scroll is the one where the snake comes out of the woman's vagina. Like, did
Um,
I say that and you immediately knew what I was talking about?
I
Like,
did because you should not watch Ninja Scroll if you were like under the age of 16. Um, my
great
dad
movie
used to
though.
work for, it is a great movie. My dad used to work for a Japanese export company, right?
Mm,
And we would get a lot of VHSs, right? So this is how long ago we're talking. We'd get a lot of
mhm,
VHSs of anime. So I watched a lot of anime growing up, right? Because that was what was accessible. And my grandmother took care of me and my sister when my parents were at work. So of course, I'm like, "Oh, can I watch this VHS?" And because she sees it and it's a cartoon, right? That's what she
yeah.
sees. She's like, "Yeah, of course. Go ahead, right? Put it on." I was like 8, 7, 8. Like I was definitely way too young to watch Ninja Scroll, but I watched it. I don't recommend it. You'll end up as screwed up as I am. Don't do it if you're under a certain age. But
I
yeah,
have Ninja Scroll on DVD. Like, I think I bought it from HMB when I was like 14 or 15 on DVD.
close enough
It,
to the age you getting there.
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I was already messed up because my childhood was very similar. Our gran watched us because her mum and dad worked full time. But the cartoon that broke my brain as a child was the animated version of Animal Farm that was made in the 19 like
Mm-hmm.
50s.
Mm-hmm.
Is anti-communist propaganda. We had it on tape, and my dad was just like, "Oh, it's animated, so that's for kids." Like, and you're just like,
Yes.
"Oh yeah, yeah, two legs good. No, yeah, four legs good, two legs bad. Yep. Oh wait, no, the pigs are on two legs now. Oh wait, oh they've killed that sheep. Oh fuck. Oh fuck." They're
Mhm.
painting out the rules on the outside of the building with the sheep blood. It's like all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Like, but we watched it all the time. Every time we went round, which was like once a week during every summer holiday, I was like, "Can we put Animal Farm on? I
Oh
want to watch
no.
Animal Farm." So my cousin is now a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
My sister eats all of her food in a really weird way, and
Mm-hmm.
I am the way that I am. So obviously we're all fine.
You're fine.
Like,
You're fine.
but yeah,
Everything's
I can
fine.
imagine that just was a very similar experience when you're that age. But I bet you wanted to watch it again.
Of course. Of course.
It's like great movie, great movie.
It's
You should all watch it if you're over the age of 16.
yes. If you're a mature 15-year-old, cool, but like that might be pushing it. I mean, great movie. Just definitely like, you know, rough, adult, mature, right? And that's what I when I look at the Sekiro animation, I'm like it feels much more in line with that. And I
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
there are just so many anime viewers of different types, right? That that might not be their vibe, and that's cool. And if you have been like just more of a mainstream anime person, you may look at this and be like, this looks like trash because it doesn't look as clean as, your Demon Slayer or your, I don't even know what else, Attack on Titan or something. I don't know. Um,
Yeah,
which I've seen neither of those, which I know they're like some of the big ones, but um, so yeah, it looks different, but I think that's the aesthetic they're going for, right? They're also trying to do that more classic like Japan, more classic. There's the whole rights field. We're not talking something that's modern. So
yeah,
it makes sense to me that the artwork also doesn't look modern.
yeah. I think the best way to like sort of e- not explain it, but like, have you ever watched the Berserk anime, the Golden Age one? So
Mhm.
Berserk is dirty, it's grubby, it's horrific. It's one of my favorite favorite manga of all time. And obviously, I play a lot of Dark Souls. Miyazaki loves him some Berserk. If you do not know that, then just pick up any volume of Berserk and
Mhm.
open it to any page, and you will see like
You'll see the
something from
inspiration.
Dexter's. Yeah, you'll see where it came from, but it is horrifying. It like it, and it's one just it's so good. I can't even. But the artwork is a very specific way. You're not. You're never supposed to feel comfortable when you're
Right.
reading Berserk. And when they did the Golden Age anime adaptation, it was so clean. It looked so weird. Um, and yeah, it just I mean, there was a lot of other issues with it, but one of the biggest
Mhm.
ones was the fact that this is a grim, dark, grubby, horrible place full of horrible people,
Mhm.
and no one's really that good. Even the heroes aren't good. And
Mhm.
then you've done it in like a very shiny, clean, plasticky style, and it's like, well, you can't. That doesn't. It doesn't jive. Like this is
Yeah.
not. I love Naruto, but it's very like, oh, and then the heroes come and save the day with talk no jutsu. Like, like uh it's not yeah, the Sekiro anime should not be that. And like some of my favorite animes are not that.
Mhm.
They are grubby little guys doing grubby little
Yeah.
things.
And it fits.
um
If it fits the story, that's what
yeah,
matters.
yeah.
Like, so I mean, we'll see. They have said that it is all hand drawn 2D. That is what they have announced. Um, Unfortunately, there was no recording allowed in the panel. But they also put out articles afterwards saying that it was all like hand drawn 2D. So if they lied to us, that's on them. But as of the time of this recording, they have said, and even before this, they have said it is all hand drawn 2D. That is their statement. That's their story. And maybe because of this being a specific adaptation, maybe they had some contractual obligation to do it without AI. I don't know. Um,
I can assume I don't think that From Software would have
like,
signed off on that.
mm-hmm,
Like AI usage. I mean, they love a shortcut. They love a reused animation. Like this the Asylum Demon is in every single FromSoft game that's ever been released. But there's doing that, and then there's AI, and I don't think that they would be. I don't see it from them,
being
and maybe
like,
I'm
yeah.
biased
No, I mean
because I
that's
love,
fair.
but yeah,
That's fair. Maybe they're gonna be the holdouts of AI. They're like, no, no
yeah, we're not
AI.
gonna do this.
Reuse this shit, but don't do AI.
Yeah, just reuse the same animations. Just cut to the same like reaction shot, like loads of old anime used to do. It's just like, is this even from the this not this that's from 3 episodes ago. What do you mean? Like, yeah, do that. That's fine. Animation is hard. Like,
It's a lot of work. It's a
yeah,
lot,
but
especially if
no
you're
AI.
doing hand drawn. Whew, good luck.
Yeah. And you should all go and watch, listeners at home, if you haven't already. You should all go and watch like some grubbier, more adult animes.
Mm-hmm.
Not adult like that, unless you want to. Like,
But
but
enjoy some, or at
yeah,
least give it a shot.
yeah. But you should, like stuff like Ninja Scroll, Fist of the North Star. I was going to say one there that's not one, just as a joke to see if anyone looked it up, but I don't know if I should because it is just porny. It's just porn. If I had to watch it when I was 17, then you should have to watch it then. Like, my cousin giving me like a CD to put on my PC. It's just like, here's loads of anime on it, and I'm just like, the fuck is this? Like,
Oh my god.
um, but yeah, or just if you're not going to watch any of those, just go and watch Akira and then come back.
I mean, even that, the animation is, it's a amazing film, and it is fairly mainstream, but it is grotesque at times.
Yeah, it's so hyper detailed. It's just
Yes.
like that you don't see in most mainstream anime,
Mm-hmm.
because they're going for simple lines, clean combat, all of this. But Akira is one of my favorite films ever made. I watched it for the first time, I think, when I was like 13, and I was just like, damn, that's I'm a weeb now. I'm sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Here I am.
Sorry, I'm now a weeb. Like, and then my cousin was like, "Here's the CD with all this anime on it. Go watch Urotsuki Doji. Don't do that. Don't look that up." Like, but
I mean, there's probably worse. Go read Metamorphosis.
don't tell him to do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't. I mean, do it if you want to. If you are morbidly curious, but only if you're over the age of 18.
Yeah. Same with Urotsuki Doji. Don't look that up unless you're over the age of 18. I will not be held responsible for all of the tentacles that you see. I refuse.
Also, tentacles. I was gonna say tentacles never hurt anybody, but then I was like, that's not true. A little pain and pleasure. It's fine. It's fine.
If you're over the age of 18, you can consent.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the key there. Gotta be able to consent.
Yeah.
But
in the meantime, go and read some Berserk, watch some Akira, like go and find your best friend. You choose who gets to be Canada. The other one chooses who gets to be Tetsuo, and just shout at each other from across the street. Like,
if you haven't done that at least once in your life, you haven't lived life.
Yeah. If we get enough likes, so what we could do like 25, I think, for this, rather than the 50 that we need for Dark Souls 2. Candy and I will do our best Canada Tetsuo impressions back and forth. Like,
oh my god, could you imagine? We'll just have to do like the movie playing like in one box and then us just like dubbing over it.
Yeah, we'll do the dub. We will do the dub for the scene that if you've watched it. Like, and if you're under the age of 18 and can't go and watch the under the age of 16 and you don't want to go and watch some of the more adult things we spoke about, I would say you should just go and watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because it is a masterpiece.
Fantastic. Amazing. Amazing series. And I know this is not an anime podcast, but yes, you should absolutely watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Here's what I will say. There is a Full Metal Alchemist anime that came out before that. It is not as good. However, if you find yourself starting Brotherhood and you feel like things have progressed too fast and you're not sure what's happening, stop, go back and watch the original one, which takes things very slowly and does not go as far, then go back to Brotherhood. My sister did that. My sister is not an anime person. But she started Brotherhood, didn't know what was going on, went back and watched the original, and she said it made so much more sense to her because she just couldn't stop herself from asking certain questions about like the relationships between people, because not that they're fully established by the time you step in, but there is a little bit more familiarity between the characters already, and you don't fully understand the dynamics. But if you can get past that, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is amazing, and there's a reason that it stays always very close to the top, if not the top, on my anime list. Amazing series.
And also, I think like the IMDb highest rated anime of all time, most of the time, it is a masterpiece. Like,
it has something for everybody.
I rewatch it once a year. I will say, and I'm sure you will agree, bring some tissues. You will cry. You will have a big cry at multiple points. And I'm very, very sorry for making you watch the specific bit that I'm apologizing for if you've watched it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm so sorry.
I mean, there's so many.
There's a lot.
If somehow
there's a lot of bits, but you know the bit that I mean.
If somehow you have been on the internet for more than 2 seconds and have not seen a meme regarding Full Metal Alchemist, I don't know how you've done it.
Yeah.
That's
me neither.
What I'll say.
Yeah. And if we were going to talk Hear Me Outs, it's not actually a Hear Me Out at all. Everyone in that show is great, apart from all the people that are obviously not within my age range, and that's fine. But Roy Mustang, god damn! Roy Mustang, Riza Hawkeye, Lust, Oh, just why we should have a spin-off and they all just get together and be a little throuple. Like I love like
I will have to try to find, I don't know where it is, but I'll have to try to find it. Years ago at New York Comic Con, we had a very big group cosplay from Fullmetal Alchemist. I will have to try to find it. Um, I I know there's pictures somewhere. I did not get my stuff together in time, so I just cosplayed as their mom.
Yeah,
Um,
I love that though.
so
I love her.
I just got like the little like apron and like put my hair to the side and it was all dark, so I did that. But um, yeah, I will have to try to find that and share that. My friend built an entire suit uh to be
For
Alphonse.
Alphonse. Oh, so exciting.
Yeah.
See, this is what's great about anime fans. And I've got to say, there was a lot of great anime, but also video game cosplays at Gamescom. But people go all out when they cosplay as anime characters. They go all out, and it's amazing. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, no, so so good. I mean, I know you talked a little bit. Well, I say a little bit, but it was you and Harry talking about Gamescom on the news podcast, and I know I've talked a lot about now anime and other stuff that had nothing to do with gaming. But like, tell us about the stuff you saw at Gamescom that you didn't get a chance to talk about on the news podcast or the cosplay, because I would love to hear that.
Well, we either saw a lot of people doing fantastic cosplays of Helldivers, or we saw the same four guys for the entire weekend. Like, but yeah, there was some really good Helldivers cosplay. I saw a particularly great Melania from Elden Ring cosplay, and then I saw on the Elden Ring subreddit that actually there was she was there with someone else who was dressed as Clean Rot Knight Finley. So if you're familiar with the Elden Ring lore, after Melania does her Scarlet Bloom in the fight with Radahn, Clean Rot Knight Finley takes her unconscious body back to the Halig Tree. So they did a video. So Cologne has this massive like gothic cathedral. It's like
Mm-hmm.
dark black. It is straight out of something from like a Dark Souls game. But they did a video of him like bridal style carrying her in her full cosplay, both of them in full cosplay, up
Nice.
from Gamescom to in front of this cathedral. And I was like, 10 out of 10. You must be roasting. It was not cool. It was not cool and like Cologne at all. They looked so good. I saw a fantastic Yuna from Final Fantasy X. We saw someone dressed up as like a Chaos Angel from Warhammer. I assume that I think that's what they're called. I'm not
Looking
really
up
up on
later.
my
It's
Warhammer
fine.
lore, but he was on big stilts and stuff. Just yeah, there was loads of fantastic cosplaying. I think for some of it, there is a cosplay competition that we didn't go and see. We didn't have time. So hopefully next year we can go back and actually go and see some of that. But there was some fantastic looking people. I saw two two gorgeous women, one of which was dressed as like Ciri from The Witcher 3, so like young Ciri.
Okay.
And then the other one was dressed as like Ciri from The Witcher 4 like trailer, and they looked
Mm.
amazing. And I was like sort of sitting outside, just like smoking a cigarette, and I was just like, I want to go over and get my photograph with them. But then I had to go to another appointment, and I was like, oh no, like it's like you look great, like from just across the courtyard, like you look amazing. But yeah, there was fantastic cosplays. Um, and yeah, like the rest of it was just so many amazing games. Like there's lots of big games and there's so many halls. There's like 8 or 9 halls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there is a big 10-2 had and 10-1 as well, but mostly 10-2 had like this whole part of the floor, huge, just dedicated to loads and loads of little indie games, and they all had their own little like arcade machines set up for you to go and play. Um,
Nice.
and if I could have spent my entire Gamescom there, just hopping from little indie title to indie title, I would have had the best time of my life. In fact, there was a game. What was it called? I want to say it was called Hellbreak High. but I
Okay.
feel like I might have gotten that wrong. But when I saw it, I got the name of the. I'm not going to show you his email address, but I got the business card and the name of one of the developers of it. Um, but when I saw it, I was like, Candy would fucking love this. Um, so it is. It's like an anime sort of visual novel, like Hades like. So
Ooh.
it's specific, like obviously it is a roguelike. I'm not going to try and coin the phrase like Hades like, but it plays so much like Hades. And I know Hades has all the chat and stuff like that, but there's also like specifically it goes into like visual novel with all the NPCs and stuff like that. So it's not just you have like little chats here and there. What you talk to them about can influence like how stuff happens and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, and there was another one called fuck. Why can't I remember the name of this game?
Because there were just
Was it
so
called?
many.
There was so many, but there was another one that was right next to it, and I want to say it was called like Arcadia too. But again,
Okay.
it was a visual novel, but it was a visual novel RPG. So you are at like a wizarding school that's not really a school. You're kind of trapped there because everyone's afraid of magic people. Um, but again, like you choose what you want to do and how you go through the game and level up and stuff like that. Again, the majority of the gameplay for that one is like a visual novel, but it plays
Okay.
you get skill points and stuff like that much more like an RPG. So I will look through all of my PR stuff that I got when I
I'm
was there because
intrigued.
there was a few that I was like, nah, this is candy coded. I see it. I see the vision. Like like
They know there's a lot of people like they're like that are out there like me. They're just like, yes, give me more. Give,
yeah, yeah.
give.
Yeah, but no, we had a fantastic time. We went to we didn't talk about this in the actual podcast, but I we met up with a guy called Pelly, who was the writer for a game called Ultros, which was the very first review we ever published on the site. Which was a review that I wrote. And we sort of befriended each other online for the last year and a half. So we met up with him for a drink in the hotel bar because he was there for Gamescom, and then he just took us to his German friend's birthday party for free drinks and food for the rest of the night, and it was wonderful.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So next year, when you come over to Gamescom, we have a standing invite to Till's birthday party, which was fabulous. So I would just be like, we brought more friends this time. Like,
We brought more people.
yeah, got loads of friends. But no, it was amazing. I've got a list of games that we are going to write about. They'll be on the site. They're so good. I've got a list of games that I'm going to send you. Be like, put this on your Steam wish list. This is candy coded. Um, but yeah, and I'm glad you guys had a good time at Play.NYC as well. Like,
We
did
did.
you see anything that you were like, this is for me. This is the game for me.
Yes. So, Sean wrote about them, because again, he was the one technically doing the press coverage. Um, but we saw two games at the Latinx in gaming, right? And one of them, I was like, this is me if I was a frog, right? And the reason I say that is it was,
Frogs.
and the name is escaping me right now. He did write an article about it. I'll link it. Um, but it was like you're a bartender and you're getting to know your customers like through making them drinks, but they are all different sorts of frogs, right? Or different
Oh,
sorts of like amphibians in that way. Um, and I we walked over and he was playing and I was like, oh, okay, so you're mixing the drinks and you're doing this thing and you have to do it in certain ways, then make certain choices with the characters. And as I was talking to the one of the developers and she's like, oh yeah, like it's really cool that we get to be here because we're here from Puerto Rico. And they flew us out and they support us in being here. So I was like, oh, so is the reason you made this game because like the coqui is like a, like I don't want to say it's like the animal of Puerto Rico, but that's like one of the symbols. It's like this very specific frog. And she like lit up with the fact that like I mentioned it, right? And I was like, oh, like I'm Puerto Rican, like I have family that's still like out there, so like I'm not there, but I know about like
yeah.
I know about this. So then she's like, oh, we had to include it. So here's where he is in the like promotional poster that they had. And like, and then she talked about how part of the reason they ended up doing this was they, during the pandemic, started going out and seeing different wildlife and the different sorts of like frogs that are out there. And that was like a really cool like interaction. Right. And I was like, yeah, it's very visual novel like, and gets to know the characters and very character based, which that is a big thing
Yeah.
for me with games, obviously. Right. So that one was really cool to get to see how they built it. Then the second one they had there was oh, the name is also escaping me. Darkest Night, or something like that. And again, it'll be in the article that I'll link below. Um, but it was a really cool concept on visual novels and the choices that you make and how they matter. And it was meant to simulate, very opposite of cozy games actually, because it was meant to simulate the anxiety that you feel in certain moments, right? So
Yeah.
the scene that you played out in the demo is you're held at gunpoint, right?
Oh.
But you as the player are not held at gunpoint. The character that you are influencing is held at gunpoint. And the reason I say the character that you are influencing is because it's not just you clicking the options when they come on the screen. There are moments where you have your cursor, which I believe was the green one, and then there's another hand that's floating around, which is the purple one, and you have to grab her hand first and then make the decision on screen. The
Oh,
decision
okay.
is in the barrel of the gun, which keeps rotating, right? So it's not like the decisions are just sitting there waiting for you to grab her hand. So you
Yeah.
have to take control of her and click on the right decision as it keeps moving. And you have a
Hmm.
limited time to do that, right?
No, that does sound like Anxiety Simulator
It,
101.
right? So it's like you have to be very, so you have to be very good, and so I played the demo and I was like, this is really cool, right? And you could see how it was interacting with the choices that I was making, and how different paths definitely would have done different things. And it was funny because they asked, they were like, what did you think? And I was like, oh, it's really good. I was like, it takes a lot for me to like get very anxious for things, but I could see how this could be anxiety inducing because you as the player are not fully in control, right?
Yeah.
You are not the person who's making the decision. You are influencing the decision, but you are not the full driver of the whole thing. And they were like,
Yeah.
you get it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm glad I got it, right? But it was just
I gotta got it because I'm so stressed. Why have you made me do this?
I was just like, I thought it was a very cool concept. I was like, this is a really cool way of like your choices mattering, but it does feel like it's not just my choice. It is a shared choice. It is a shared responsibility. It is more than just me saying this is how I want the game to go. Um,
Yeah.
which was a really, really cool way of doing that. Um, because it was just a different spin on visual novels, right? And just be like, okay, this
Yeah.
is my
And
choice.
again, we've mm, like choices matter in video games, or choices mattering in video games is like been a thing for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that we have video games that give you the illusion of choice when they don't actually matter. I'm looking at you, Telltale. Like, I'm sure we had this discussion on the last one about Wolf Among Us being the only good one. Like, I'm sorry if you like the Walking Dead ones,
I
but
do like the
saying
Walking Dead ones. I do.
yeah, and to be fair, I do like them as for what they are. But this, like, someone will remember this later, and it means nothing. You have to stop putting that on the top of the screen if it means nothing. Like, whereas something like that is like that's taking the whole like your choices matter, as you say. It's like your choices do matter, but at certain points in life, like there is nothing you can do about something. Like this is just like you can try your best
Mm-hmm.
and to make that much more dynamic and stuff. It sounds really interesting. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to you mess me the name of it, or I'll look up the article afterwards.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
yeah,
it was so cool. I was like, this is a very cool way of doing things. Um, I just thought it was very genius to be like, we are, as the player, you are in the driver's seat, but only to a certain extent, right? You have to take control of the situation, and you don't have that much time to take control of the situation, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that is bringing up the intensity. So I thought that was cool. Um, there were some other ones that were interesting that I was like, okay. I didn't get to play too many because I was like walking around and seeing different panels and things like that. Because I went to like a Spy Family panel because my cozy stuff is like certain anime. I was like, I want to watch Lloyd and Yor, okay? Like, I want to see this.
Yeah.
But they had voice actors from Japan that were there, which were really cool. They
Cool.
flew out
Yeah.
and they did a live dubbing and they did these things, and I was like, that's cool to watch.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And then like one day I did cosplay. I was Power from Chainsaw Man, and Sean was
Love
Denji.
it. Love
Um,
it.
so we
Why are there
walked
no
around.
photos in the chat? Why are there no photos in the chat?
I did post a photo on Instagram. I can post a photo in the chat somewhere.
Self
So
promotion. I want to see the photos. Or you can just send them to me. You don't have
I
to
mean,
send them to
I
me.
mean, they're on. I put them on Insta. I put one or two on Instagram. I'll put it in the Discord, and if you want to see it too, you have to join the GSC Discord. So then you can also play games with us on community nights, like next Saturday when we're gonna try to do Among Us in the morning. Um,
Yeah.
so so I didn't get to play too many things. I know Starlight Revolver was there, and that was a big one. I did play. Oh, okay. So I did play this AI game because I didn't realize what it actually was. And it sounded
Yeah.
like it could have been in the concept sounds like it could be interesting. And I understand why the AI is a part of it.
Okay.
But my gosh. So it's called Pick Me, Pick Me. And it's essentially a dating sim, right? But you and another player are competing for the attention of this person you're on a date with. So the person, like, we had somebody with like a fox mask, so I was going to call him Inari. So Inari is talking to you, and then he'll switch to like the other person and say something to them, and you get to type back like your response. And then you have like a counter up top that swings to see which direction like they are leaning in to go on a date with. So somebody wins the date, somebody loses the date. So I played it because I was like, I don't know what this is, but I have been seeing emails about this since PAX East, and I was like, what is this thing, right? Like, what is the point of this? It's a dating sim. Okay, I played some dating sims. Let me try it out. And I was like, this is awful, right? Now, it may have also been the character that I was on the date with. But I was like, I hate this character. So I have no riz with this character, right? This character's like, I'm an artist, and why do I have to like live by these, like things that society says we need to do, and why can't I just sit and be depressed and make my art and watch my anime and eat my ramen? And I'm like, all right, bro, go and do this, right? But this then
No one
feels
wants
like
to date this.
no, I don't want to date this person, right?
Why can't I
And
just be depressed all the time? It's like some of us are, brother, but we try to not do that.
yeah, we're not sitting there like, can I just be depressed all the time and like not leave my house? No.
Why don't you want to date me? I've not showered in 8 days. But it's
So
for art.
yeah, for art. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah.
You fucking recoup it, by the way. Let's go for a show.
Seriously. But like, so I was like, okay, like I get why you have to incorporate the AI, right? Because it's reading the responses that people are actually typing, right? So yes, you're not always going to have someone on the other side who is reading it to respond and then, be an impartial judge. But I was just like, it then feels like, it almost feels like what you end up having to do is, instead of people using AI and AI just being a mirror of the things that you're feeding into it, it feels like then you have to be the mirror for the AI. And I'm like, I don't like this, right? I I already don't like that AI is making us think less. I don't like
Yeah,
that then the AI is basically telling us what to think, and if we want to win, we need to match with what the AI thinks.
yeah. No, absolutely. No, I completely agree because presumably for something like this, you could create, like because AI's always been in video games, but
Mm-hmm.
like presumably you could create your own small large language model that tries to anticipate, and it might be a bit clunky,
Mm-hmm.
but like maybe it just grows off of people's responses and stuff like that. But presumably this is using like chat GPT or something like that that goes into, and then it's just like I'm having a conversation with Reddit. Is what you're saying. Like, and I do use Reddit. I do.
Worse
I have
than
a pub.
Reddit, though. There are still people on
Oh,
Reddit with their own individual ideas. For
yeah.
now.
But yeah, it is like, oh, like the homogenization of everyone's opinions into one opinion. So presumably you can win every single time if you just say the same thing to the AI because the AI doesn't know its own personality because it doesn't fucking have one
Right.
because it's an AI. Like you've
Right.
not programmed it with this much nuance for it to be like, no, I'm this. And I mean, I've seen two news articles, not to make it super dark, but two news articles over the past 2 weeks of like AI basically encouraging people to kill themselves and
Mm-hmm.
then helping them writing their suicide notes. And I'm like, no, we should ban this. We should absolutely ban this. Like, what? Because you can't be arsed like proofreading your emails? Fucking no. Get this out here. Like,
Yeah, why do we
this
have
is
age
absurd.
verification on Discord, but we don't have age verification on fucking AI?
Yeah, I can't. I'm in the UK. Don't like. I'm in the UK. I can't watch pornography as a 34-year-old woman without showing my ID. But you can go on ChatGPT and just no.
Mm-hmm.
We are now in a oh no, we're in a dystopia. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize it till right now that we've had this one. Ah well, at least we have wine.
Mm-hmm. We
Because I
have
don't want to think
drinks.
about I don't want to think about the fact we're in an AI fueled dystopia. Please
Literally.
stop.
Lit-
Please stop putting your questions you put into Google into fucking
mm-hmm.
ChatGPT. Um, please stop. Like, if you want to ask people a question and you don't have anyone to talk to, you like this isn't. This sounds like a proper plug, but it's not supposed to be a plug. If you want some people to talk to and you don't really have a lot of people to talk to, and you're listening to this, you can join our Discord, and we have people that will talk to you and try and play games with you, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll be friends with you. Like, please do not resort to an AI replacement for this. Human contact is so important.
Yes.
Reach reach out to anyone, speak to anyone that you know. Go and
Mm-hmm.
talk to someone at the supermarket for fuck's sake. Like, please don't replace your human connections with an AI. It's not
It's
worth
not
it.
human.
It's not human, and they are built for consumer interaction, which is tell you what you want to hear, and sometimes you don't need to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
so please reach out to a human. You can join our Discord. You can argue with me in the YouTube comments. You can do anything, but please do it with another human being for the love of God. Like, and if you're
Literally.
feeling bad and you're not feeling okay, please reach out to someone. Talk to someone you trust or you love or a medical professional. Please do not reach out to an AI chatbot. People care about you and you're loved and cared about. Please.
100%. 100%. No. So yeah, that was there. And I was like, I hate this. There was another AI game that I played at PAX East that I also did not like. So I did not play it again because it was worthless to play it again. Um, and it's the other one, it's like AI to you or something like that. And it's like an AI girlfriend that you're trying to escape. It's supposed to be like an escape room simulator or something. And I'm like, this is such, it felt like such streamer bait because I was like, I cannot actually get this thing to answer my question. So yes, if I was streaming this, it would be funny, haha, that this AI doesn't understand me and doesn't understand what I'm saying. But like in the moment, this is just crap. This is just garbage. Like
Yeah.
this is nonsense. And it's like, look at all these clips of streamers that have had so much fun with this. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Okay? As a streamer, I'm telling you, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
No. Like, this is slop. This is garbage. This is nonsense. Absolutely not. There are plenty of, like, point and click escape room games. Don't play with this, bitch.
Yeah. Put Ruffle, the Flash emulator, on your browser and go and play, like, is it the Red Room? Was that one? Was that what it was called?
I think there is that, but there's so find a friend and play We Were There, right? There's a whole game
Yeah.
series, right, of escape rooms. You know, there's other like escape
There's
room
Escape
simulator
Academy.
games, Escape
Like,
Academy. Like,
Harry and I played one for a review for the site called How to Escape to Lost Submarine. One of you's on a phone, the other one's on your console. Like, play any of these games. Just fuck
anything
AI slop.
else.
Like, just don't do it. Like,
Anything else. You know, so there was some of that at Play.NYC, which again, I understand. You're giving lots of space to lots of different games. Um but yeah, the panel that I thought about going to, but I did not go to,
you'd have got mad.
because
You would have been big mad. You would have thrown something.
no, I would not have thrown anything, but I probably would have been messaging you the whole time. They did have a Love and Deep Space panel that was Love and Deep Space. Is it really a Gooner game?
Oh no! Did you send?
I did.
Did you send the? Yeah,
I sent you
because
the description.
the, there was a Love in Deep Space like big thing at Gamescom as well, and I took a photo of it, and I meant to send you, and I didn't. But it was like you could queue up to get your photograph taken, like with your man, and I was just like, all right. I was like, I can't remember which one was the one that I liked. Like,
Because they
'cause
all
they
look the
all
same?
did. Yeah, yeah. But no, it's definitely a gooner game. This implication that women can't be gooners is like it's a double standard, and I won't stand for it.
It
Like,
was just hysterical. I saw that and like it I forget when it was, but I was like, oh, like if I'm starting to get tired or my feet hurt or I just like need a break from the show floor, like I'll just go walk over to that panel, and I didn't. But I really thought about it because I was like, this would be I was like, one, this would be hysterical. But then I sat there and I was like, you know, we should just do a panel at a con. Like,
yeah,
we could do a
about
whole
gooner
panel
games.
about everything. We could do a panel at a con and then be like, yes, look at our panel. Look at what we're doing. Yes, come listen to us. Come talk to us, right? I was like, we
Yeah,
could just do this. I don't need to go sit and listen to somebody else talk about the things we've already talked about. No.
no, definitely not. Like, and I assume, like, not to be really disingenuous about other people's opinions about stuff, but there is certainly double standards about what constitutes goonerism when it's like for the male gaze versus the female gaze.
Mm-hmm.
So my assumption is going to be that the conclusion to that panel was like, no, it's not, because it's for the ladies. And I'm like, mate, I wrong, wrong and inappropriate. Dirty little perverts, all of us, every single one of us. Like,
We all
stop
have it in us.
it. Yeah,
It's
like,
fine. Let it out. It's okay
ob-
to let it out.
obviously, you never watched Ninja Scroll when you were under the age you shouldn't be watching it. But the rest of us who did, dirty little perverts. This is not a gender based argument. Like,
No, not at all. Not at all. No,
this is, when did you watch specific types of anime?
Mhm.
Like,
When did your eyes get opened?
yeah.
When did your inner eye get open? When
When
did your heart and your legs get open to these gooner things?
yeah. When was the first time you had the thought, I'm not a furry, but like, you know, these are all the relevant questions to whether or not you're a gooner, and none of them are gender related. Like,
They're not. They're not. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh my god, this would be hysterical. Um, but I didn't go, and I was like, I could host a panel like this. I could do this. I could fly V out here and host a panel like this. Like what? I could do
hey, be like a 5-minute panel. It's like, is this a gooner game? Yes. Next
it.
panel.
Next topic.
Yeah, are you gooning to it? Oh, you are. It's a fucking gooner game. Like,
Are you spending all of your time and attention on this character? Do you feel
yeah,
warm and fuzzy on the inside when he whispers to you? Do you do all these pulls to try to see a different scene with him where maybe you can unbutton his shirt? It's a gooner game.
yeah, you're gooning. Like,
It's
just
fine.
come to terms with it. It's okay. It's allowed.
It's allowed. It's allowed. It's safe. It's fine.
Yeah,
Figure out
just
your taste. Do it.
tell me which one of them that you like by like hair color or something, because they all look the fucking same.
Is it the doctor or anybody else? Because I just remember that one was a one's a doctor, one's an artist.
No, the doctor one was the one we liked, right?
That's the one we like.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's the artist. There's the
Zane?
childhood
His name?
friend. Yeah.
His name's Zane. Doctor
Zane.
Zane. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't remember the other
I feel like I
ones.
liked his glasses. Like,
I think that's what set him apart. He had glasses.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Because he had glasses, you know, and you can imagine the hot and spicy scene when you're getting close and the glasses start to fog up, so you pull the glasses off of his face so that you can see deep into his eyes and feel the lust as he's looking at you in the moment. Like, it's a gooner game, okay? Come on, like I'm writing the scene for you.
Candy's written fan fiction before, confirmed. Absolutely confirmed.
Listen, there's always that moment when they wear glasses, okay? There's always that moment.
That's very true. That's very true.
But no, I could, you know, it just so funny. So funny. There were some other like game inspired panels, but we just didn't have time to go. There was so much in Artist Alley, including the Leon Kennedy body pillow. I did not buy it, but I did look at it for a bit. The picture is still on my phone.
I would have bought it. I would have bought it.
I saw it, and I don't even think we got close to that booth. I think they were pretty busy. We bought some other, well, Sean bought some other things. Some more artwork.
I saw an Instagram reel earlier. I was going to send it to you, but I didn't. But it was one about Leon Scott Kennedy from Resident Evil 4. It's like, POV, it's 2005 and you've just seen Leon Scott Kennedy for the first time, and it was just like a thirst trap cam, and I was just like, yeah,
Yes.
like, I was like, no, you're right, but then I was like, wait, that was 2005, and then I felt so old. Like,
you were just age appropriate for a Leon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it was fine.
Like,
it was fine.
Yeah, but I was like, damn, like.
You were basically Ashley being like, Leon!
Fuck hell.
Just all. God, I hate her
I
yell.
hope I've never been that annoying in my life.
I hate her yell so much. Oh my gosh.
Leon! No! Help!
Oh
Leon!
Like, could you do anything for yourself, girl?
Go in the bin. Just sit in the bin. I'll come back later. Like,
I'll come back when everything is done. Stay in the garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Where you belong.
Or once you've completed the game and you can just unlock her suit of armor and you just like stand there. That's fine. Like, I'm busy.
I got things to do.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
need to
God.
go and kill this tiny man wearing a Napoleon costume. Could you shut up for 2 seconds? Like,
Literally. Oh, that girl. That freaking girl. What a game. What a game. I mean, great game, but oh my God.
yeah. It's amazing how they actually managed to make like an escort quest game with the most annoying character you have to make follow you around. Somehow a masterpiece. Purely for the fact that Leon Scott Kennedy is that guy. Like,
It's true.
like,
It's true. If it was
like,
any other pro tag, I'd be like, nah.
no. Because, like, what, Resident Evil 5, like, you've got Sheva, and she's, like, capable, and she can help, and it's trash. The whole game is trash.
Well, yeah, because you have Chris.
Who cares about roided out Chris Redfield and what he's gonna do to a boulder? Like,
What? Oh, I played that after 4, and it was not good. And I don't think Sean will ever play another Resident Evil game now.
I've heard the newer ones are good. I mean, they're too scary for me, the newer ones. I'll just keep going back and playing
Like
Resident
4?
Evil 4. Yep.
Yeah. No, I want to
Not
play
even the
more of
remake.
them, but
I still think he's hotter in the original.
yeah,
Like
I can see it's too
mm,
clean in the new one. It's too
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Sometimes
Oh,
it's okay to be a little grimy.
a little
Not
grubby.
dirty, not like dirty and gross and stinky, but a little, a little
Just like
real.
it's been a hard day, like killing zombies. Like maybe maybe I'm just like slightly sweaty and I've got like a little bit of dirt on me. Like
It's the,
yeah, maybe.
it's the glistening skin from the sweat and then the little bit of dirt that you can wipe away, It's like it's that aesthetic.
Yeah, yeah. It's not I've not showered in 8 days.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Uh, I feel like we should do. We are so over what this is supposed to be. I'm not even gonna bother. A part of me was like, do we just go long and then cut it into two? And then I was like, no, we'll just start
No.
to wrap it up. It'll be long. It's fine.
We just do long podcasts. But yeah,
Long
we
podcast.
should go. We should wrap up.
We should
Wrap
wrap
up.
up. Do you have?
Jack Keeley, please wrap it up.
Yeah, right? If Nathan was here, he'd be like, they're supposed to be like maybe 90 minutes. What are you girls doing? Wrap it up. You get like the flashing lights, the music
Mm.
cueing us off.
It's like we'll talk through it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Like
I'll just keep talking. It's fine. It's totally fine.
mm,
Do you have a game that you would like one game that you would recommend? Doesn't have to be necessarily from Gamescom, but something that you would recommend to
I do
me
have
and
one
listeners.
and it is specifically from Gamescom. So it's a game called Aethermancer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it comes out into early access on the 23rd of September. I was lucky enough to talk to the devs of it when I was at Gamescom. But it's Moirai Games, who are the people that made Monster Sanctuary. Um, so it's like a creature collector roguelike. Um, so if you listened to the pods before, you know I love Pokemon. But Monster Sanctuary is like a Pokemon game for people who actually enjoy tactics and RPGs and like team building and being good at game. Whereas Pokemon is just like you just use your start and smash. Like but so this is like this, but there's a roguelike mechanic to it. But the way that you've done it, well, for one, the pixel art is absolutely gorgeous and the animations are so well done. Like the first thing I noticed when I played it on the Steam Deck, I was like, God damn it. Like this must have taken so long to do some of these animations because they're so unique. It looks amazing. But also the way that they've done it is like obviously it's a roguelike, so if your monsters die, um oh, you get rid of them, but you can rebirth them at any of these rebirth stations.
Okay.
Um, and so if you nickname them when you have a connection with them, you can rebirth them. They keep their nickname. You just keep bringing them back to help stuff up. But what happens is that if you have instead of like Pokemon where they just learn set moves,
Right.
or even in Monster Sanctuary where you have like a set skill tree that you can select the moves you want to do. When they level up, you get like 3 random moves you can pick from. Um, and depending on how you are playing the game, those moves will adapt to your play style. So each monster has like a certain pool of moves, but
Okay.
if you are playing the game in a very specific way, then you will find that your like monsters can then learn moves they're never supposed to learn because it's adapting to how you play it. So unlike a lot of roguelikes where you have to adapt to the choices, this is
Mm-hmm.
actually like the AI of the game adapts to what you're doing. So I was like playing with one of my monsters kept setting up burn. So then like my one of my other monsters, despite the fact not being fire type or anything like that, then learned a move outside of its move pool that allowed it to do extra critical damage if the enemy monster was burned.
Okay.
So you know,
Okay.
so you can play it really strategically by doing all of that, but just the music's fantastic, the art is fantastic, the gameplay is so addictive. I foresee me spending like 200 hours smooshing my face into this game. The guys at the booth were also wonderful, but that's what I would recommend as my game. Towards the end of the month, comes out into early access on Steam. So
Okay.
if you like a roguelike, you like a little creature collector, can only recommend Aethermancer. It's one of my most anticipated games of the year after playing it at Gamescom.
Nice. I have heard about Aethermancer, and I think in a future episode we should. This is gonna sound very silly until I explain why. We should pitch to have the streamer Ludwig as a fantasy guest because
Off-brand games.
Off-Brand Games, that's who's publishing Aethermancer. That's why
Yeah.
I have heard about it. Yep. So we should just get him on so he can tell us why these games. Like, why did you choose to publish these?
Well,
and more stuff, but you know.
I played 3 games at Gamescom for an appointments that were being published by Off-Brand Games. So I feel like I can just like drop him a note on X on Twitter, just be like, "Hey Ludwig, like, come on our podcast. Like, we're tiny, but I played a lot of your games and I've been like going like really hard. So come tell us about them. Why you chose to publish them as part of your company? You know,
We are small but mighty.
Yeah, we could definitely do it.
Right?
We're gonna make it happen. This time next week, Ludwig's on the podcast.
Could you imagine? Like,
that'd be great.
That would be.
No, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna do it.
Do it. 100%. So that's the game rec. There is a game that I am working on a review for. I actually can say what it is because it's past embargo. I'm working on a review for Shoot in Order. I'll probably talk about it on the next episode, not this one, so I can get a little farther in because there is a lot to it. Because I mentioned this to V. It's like 5 games in one. They play very differently. I have already played through the games that are my strong suit. And the first 2 paths and the prologue have taken me something like 15 hours already. So yeah, so we'll talk about it on the next episode. Where I can dive deeper into it and why you should play it. Although right now it is fantastic, and it will be written up why it's fantastic probably before the next episode. But
on the next episode, you can explain to Ludwig why he should play it on stream.
You're right. I mean, he can't play the games that he produces, right? So other people need to play the games that he produces, and then he can play other games.
Yeah, right? Exactly. We'll play the games that he produces.
He publishes. Yeah. See?
And publishes. And you know, then he can play the games that we recommend to him.
Yeah? Exactly. It's, you know, the content creation circle or something. I don't know. I just pretend to be part of it. I don't actually.
I saw him post on Twitter the other day about how he said he was going live streaming, but he actually like streamed off of his name to see how long it would take for people to notice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first person that came in was like a mod for someone else's channel, and then he sent them all over to their channel to try and like bring up and coming streamers and stuff like that. So, you know, he posted it as wholesome. I'm like, what would be more wholesome than coming onto your podcast and giving us a boost, Ludwig? I'm just saying.
That's true. That's true. And we already like the games. So
yeah, I played a lot of them and they were all great. So yeah.
So do it up. Let's make it happen. But for now, this is the end of this episode. I know it's a longer episode. Thank you for sticking around and listening. We just had a lot to talk about this week. We hadn't spoken
in 2 weeks. We had to catch up.
I know. It's like it's been 2 weeks. There's so much to say. You know, but make sure that you drop us a follow, or a like, a subscribe, depending on what you're listening this to, whether it is Spotify, Apple Podcast. I know there's so many other ones. If you're watching on YouTube, wherever it is, make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment. If it's a podcast service, leave the 5-star review. Make sure that you check out V every week with the news podcast. Make sure you check out the party chat on Fridays with Nathan and Frage, where they are doing they were talking about co-op games actually. yesterday, as of the time of this recording. They were talking about co-op games and then playing actual games. So make sure that you check them out. Obviously, come back to us every Monday for more Girl Pod. Check out the articles over on the site, gamersocialclub.ca. If you need more gamers to chat with so that you're not talking to AI, don't talk to AI. Join the Discord. The link is in the description. And we will catch you in the Discord when you're not talking to AI and talking to us instead, or next week. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.